Hi, my name's Vaishnavi, and I'd really love to share my experience recently taking part in Christina's Your Divine Body Upgrade. I have to look, see what it's called. It was really powerful for me, and I actually offered if if it was appropriate to record my experiences because I'd love to share it with others. Um, Interestingly, even though I've known Christina for many years, I've never worked with her as a client for healing. I've been incredibly impressed by her in other areas and different contexts over the time I've known her, but in a way I was a little bit skeptical, funnily enough, about taking part in a group distance healing. And now that I say that, it makes me laugh because I've actually worked a lot with both group healings and distance healings, and I've always been impressed. And yet there's something where it's hard to believe you'll really receive as much as you would in a one-to-one hands-on session. And that was so clearly apparently not the case. I mean, it was so powerful. And I've actually never experienced anything quite like it. I've worked with Reiki for many years and vortex healing, and I've experienced a lot of different types of healing. And there's something very direct and powerful about this modality that, like I say, I've never experienced. And one aspect of that was I had very powerful dreams every night almost. And I'd really recommend if you take part to have something, a voice recorder or something by your bed, because I had my phone and I would just record the dreams in the middle of the night when I woke up. And I'm so glad I did that, because listening to them subsequently, there's incredibly powerful guidance in there, and they're not like typical dreams in that they're very clearly telling me that there's a very clear message in there, and it's answers to questions that have been with me for years, decades even. So that in itself was completely gold to get this real clarity. And the way I described it to Christina when we took part in a call at the end, which was really lovely to hear the other experiences and to ask any questions we needed, and I said, for me, the overarching experience, although there's so many aspects, was one of clarity and finding I was able to focus, which for me has been a huge challenge. And I think the words I used was, it was like sort of stripping all the dross away so that I could actually see what was important. And what was so interesting was I didn't know how Christina works, and it is exactly that she's doing. She's basically clearing all that is not divine, as it were, or all that is blocking, so that we can completely open up to connect very directly with Source. So I found something very kind of elegant and just clean and simple about that approach. It wasn't really kind of messing around with issues or problems. It's just like, let's clear what's not needed, and then the connection is very, very effortless. So I've written some notes here. Just my big clarity was really about my mission in life, and that's something I've been avoiding really committing to, and just going through loud and clear, mostly in dreams, but also just coming through into my consciousness during the process. I'd been really struggling with grounding, and this was showing up in lots of different areas of my life, in committing to staying in the particular living situation I'm in doing a practice, a vocal practice that's very grounding. I'm a singer, and I've been encouraged to sing just one low note, sa, to really strengthen the root chakra, and I just couldn't do it. I would sit down and it would feel so excruciatingly uncomfortable, and I knew there was something going on that was really blocking me. And I think on the second or third day of the 10 days, I just spontaneously sat down and just sang sa, and I could have continued all day, and I've been singing regularly since. And that's just sort of symbolic of a general sense of finding I'm more able to rest. and I've also made the decision to stay where I am and realise I'm really happy where I am. And the urge to move was, I see now, coming from a more sort of dysfunctional discomfort just in being where I am. So those, for me, are two incredibly fundamental things that I really wanted to work with. There are big shifts physically in around the sacroiliac area and my left hip, which has always been very contracted, and I've done years of yoga and almost everything else you can imagine. And again, I think on about, I can't remember if it was the 4th or 5th day, I just did one of the stretches I do every day, and I was like, oh, it's really opening. So that's beautiful. A very, very interesting shift in a tendency to be attracted to situations where I will get into a codependent dynamic with someone and want to rescue them instead of focus on myself. And it's just started to fall away. I'm not feeling that sort of hypnotic pull that I would feel to those kind of situations, and I'm finding myself again much more able to rest with myself. So that's been huge. Yeah, there's so much more I could say. Even like physically, I have begun sleeping through the night, which I wasn't doing before, and I was always needing to get up and pee in the night, and that's just shifted. And I have a sense that my whole metabolism of water has shifted. There's lots of signs showing up in my body. Again, something I've been trying everything with, and working a lot with my kidneys and electrolytes and healing. And yeah, I don't know why it shifted during this 10 days. So yeah, I feel like I could talk for about an hour about this. I've already talked for a lot longer than I meant to. But I would so encourage you, if you're drawn, to sign up, because it's incredible value for basically 10 days of powerful healing that builds on itself. And you will find yourself, I did for that entire 10 days, really held in a field. And it continued on afterwards. For me, the integration period, I think, is still carrying on, but certainly for a good week afterwards. And in fact, my only caution, if anything, would be, if your system is sensitive, just to be prepared, because I'm very sensitive to healing, and I found I was quite exhausted on certain days. And what was nice was we get an email every day from Christina, and she would say, in fact, this one particular day, she said, you may need to really rest this day. So it's very affirming. But if you're able to clear your schedule a bit and really make time and space, I would suggest that could be great. You'll know if you need to do that. I don't suppose that that is the same experience for everyone, but for me it really was powerful, and I'm very grateful, A, that I was able to take part, and B, that I had the time and space to really integrate it. So yeah, I'll be seeing you maybe soon on a healing, and thanks for listening. Bye.